welcome to the start of the YouTube part of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, the little bonus you get if you watch on YouTube. And we have Unknown Johnson.
Hey, I'm back. I'm still around.
Yeah, it's like you came in for the 100th, which was kind of like, we put that in and that was awesome. But now that we have the Zoom, under control, we're going to be able to do a lot more. I love this aspect because I can get this up on to YouTube almost instantly, because when the other one I still can do for the podcast. Like today we will do I think we're going to do the readings. I might pull this one as far as everything goes right out my my
Your
butt.
what?
My butt. Now wait, I should. There's my. Oh, I do have them. Yay!
Hey, those are important.
So you might hear some background noise because
there's a party going on at
Tiny's
Tiny's house.
Ready for this party. It's Saturday morning. This is when we're gonna do this, but we might do it a little bit earlier coming up. But right now, I was so excited to get Young Nose back onto the podcast, so we're going to do this no matter what. We're both wearing our Scotchy Bourbon Boy
T-shirt.
Yep. And I've got that part. Now let me just see if the other part of, let's see, Weller, Scotchy Bourbon Boys. All right, I'm just kind of going through.
He's scrolling through the computer.
I should.
Well, while you're scrolling through, like I said, it's glad to be back. I'm glad to be able to be part of this, to continue it, even though I'm here in Charleston, South Carolina. It's definitely been a lot of fun, and I continue to, listen and try to listen to the podcast as you and Super Nash and all the others put them up there. And the last one you did with the Bradshaw and the Super Nash shares, that one was a really fun one to listen to. Wish I was been able to participate in that, but just some things came up, and more or less some sleep came up.
Yeah,
it's getting a little tired.
You gave it the old college try, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so I have.
And then I was also rushing around at the end, and I was trying to find the Bradshaw, and I the local liquor store right down the street didn't have it, so I ended up picking up something else, which is nice because that's what we're going to be tasting and talking about today.
Yeah, for sure, for the first time, which is kind of cool. So there's just one more thing I gotta do. I gotta look for. Okay, I can do this on the VIPs. So come on, there we go. All right. I just gotta get up.
It's very quiet here today.
Still stuff. Eric and Jeff. Okay, is that at the Scott? Eric and Jeff. Oh no, that's not it. I fixed that. Okay, that should be. It's like, really?
Are you trying to find all your stuff, or what's going on there?
I'm just trying to find. What I'm trying to find is what I gotta read for. All right.
Oh, right. You're reading info for the sponsors.
Yeah, and for some reason, there's that one. Good. So let's see. It's on Monks Road, and here's that. Good, Log Still. So I've got Log Still and Watershed ready to go. Let me get rid of anything else I'm not supposed to have. Log Still, Watershed, and then what's really cool is that I had lost the paper on Spirit of French Lick, and all of a sudden I'm looking, I go down and I just look behind the bar, sitting on the floor behind me.
And it was right there.
And this, yep. I don't actually need my glasses to read. This, which I've been reading off for the last 6 months.
Ooh.
I mean, look at the difference,
Yeah.
A little bit different there. But
a lot easier to read the big poster rather than
so I'm
the
still
little
going to put
pamphlet.
that on. But, for everybody who's
at this point, you should already have Spirit of French Lick memorized.
yes, I have the words that I can't pronounce memorized.
Yeah.
But, it's getting to that point, but doing the three. So what I like to do is do the Spirit of French Lick reading right at like at the beginning, like always,
Mm-hmm.
and then in the middle, after we do the introductions and what we're going to do, talk about up and coming stuff, what our plans are and whatnot, and what Matt.
Yeah, I'm sure there's a bunch of stuff that I need to be informed on too.
Yeah. Well, we were talking about that.
Yeah.
Let's see. His name is, I could go right here, Matt Mayhair. Matt Mayhair is going to be the new podcaster. He's going to be he's coming Tuesday. And then Thursday, we're going to be you're invited if you want, and so is Super Nash, but we're going to be podcasting with Alan Bishop on Zoom.
Ooh.
But we're going to talk distilling from the history point of view of, like, he's always talking about how certain, like, most everything in distilling has been done already. You know what I mean? It's been done in the 1800s. It's the art was lost for a while. And one of the things that Alan's trying to do is bring back that art, with the buckwheat and the other different types of grains. But I want to ask him, what, you can almost distill anything, right? So
yeah, I would think so.
I think that would be kind of fun.
Yeah, that would be really cool.
Hold on a sec. Can you distill? What happens when you distill wine? What do you get?
Brandy?
You get brandy, right?
Yeah, you get brandy. Unless it's from Cognac, France, then you get cognac.
Well, yes, because that's the grapes, right?
Right.
All right, so there you go. That was a dumb question. I just asked that on Zoom.
Hey, that's okay. That just means we know our stuff.
When you distill green beans?
Green beans?
Green beans. Or what happens when you distill beets? I mean, all of it can be distilled. It's just whether or not, that's the kind of questions I want to be asking. And then,
those are good questions.
Matt Mayhair, he's going to be kind of subbing, not subbing in. Hopefully we bring him in, and he's from the Canton Bourbon Boys. And the Canton Bourbon Boys and the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, hopefully we will join forces together.
Right.
It will be very interesting.
Yeah, I do remember you telling me about that before. So yeah, but that is kind of exciting, and then getting others on board. So
look if I hold my arm up like this, I get better color. So I'm going to just hold. What I should do is just take a talk like this, right?
You just look pale
now. Yeah. I got a good
even with your arm up, you just look pale. I think it's your lighting.
Well, I'm sure it's my lighting. 100%. I'll figure this the fuck out.
Well, yeah.
All right. So we've got one whiskey, Suntory Whisky Toki, which how about this? With me sitting back further, does that work? Yeah, that's better, isn't it?
Yeah, that looks a little better because now you got a little shadow there. So my camera's a little backwards, but here's the Suntory Whisky Toki that we will be tasting and talking about this morning.
What the shit? Yours is half gone already.
No, it's not half gone, but yeah, I tried it already. I opened it up. I got it last week.
I got it last week, and mine is not open. I'm going to be a Japanese virgin taster.
You got to remember.
You're no longer.
You got to remember. I went like almost 3 weeks dry without any whiskey. So I bought that bottle, and you're like, I'm damn sure opening that up and trying it.
I mean,
because I ran out and I didn't have a chance to go get any more.
100% your problem there.
I know, but still, you can't blame me for opening it up. I gotta try it.
But I can blame you for running out of whiskey and not replacing it for 3 weeks.
Well, you can.
but I won't. So I guess we should get this sucker on the road, right? You want to go?
Yeah, I'm ready.
Are you ready for this?
I'm ready.
At it. It is 10:04.
It's
We're right on time. We're tasting one whiskey, so this shouldn't go too long, But whatever, you know how it is. Whatever happens.
what just happened? Oh,
Nothing.
It went to my phone call.
Oh, you have a phone call.
Well, it came through and it. Oh, back to meeting. Okay.
Okay.
It made my meeting go away
Okay. Yeah, because it picked up because you had a phone call coming in, but you have it muted. So, all right.
Yep.
So we're gonna start. Here we go.
Spirits of French Lick is proud to introduce the Lee Sinclair 4-grain bottled and bond bourbon. This 4-year aged double pot distilled non-chill filtered bourbon has creamy, round, and lifting notes with caramel and vanilla, followed by apple, mint, graham cracker, and ginger, as well as cardamom. The finish is slightly French walnut, resolving the sweet, fruity, almost ground cherry and white pepper. Our spirits are available for tasting and purchase inside the French Lick Winery and Distillery. Spirits of French Lick. Respect the grain. Please enjoy responsibly.
Bump, bump. Why are you hitting me with the bung hammer?
Show me the way to the next whiskey bar. Oh, don't ask why. Oh, don't ask why. For if we don't find the next whiskey bar, I tell you we must die. I tell you we must die. I tell you, I'll tell you, I tell you we must die.
Oh.
my maraca is on the floor, or else I would have been shaking it.
We didn't do a return to Morocco's, have we?
No, we have not.
Well, welcome everybody to another podcast of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, and we are going to be bringing Young Nose back for podcasting, and I think
yes,
we're able to do it with technology. And you are now in South Carolina. You are set. You've been working for a while. Everything's kind of settled down, and look forward to doing good amount of podcasts in the future.
Oh yeah, definitely. Same here. Definitely excited to be back in action. I missed it. I missed being able to podcast with you and Super Nash and all the others and all the other stuff going on. I've been paying attention as much as I could, and there's a lot of exciting stuff going on with the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. A lot of really cool stuff coming up. A lot of really cool stuff already announced, and definitely looking forward to getting back on pace. So.
Yeah, and when you were gone, we were able to fill out the sponsorship for the podcast, which is very exciting. We've got now, you heard Alan Bishop at the start, and then we've got Watershed, and we've got Log Still, everybody down there. I'll be doing readings throughout the podcast, but that's exciting. But the one thing is, we missed you too. I miss you specifically because, like on this podcast, when things are going, and trying to keep this going 2 times a week, and it starts to talk to yourself, you start to kind of just keep looking forward to when you can get back to podcasting with other people. And then also, when you did move, and for this time, it's kind of like you definitely carried the load of the research and what we did. And there's a couple of times you did so much that research that it wouldn't even all get on the podcast.
Yeah, like the Irish whiskey. I remember that one.
Yeah, and I definitely miss you doing research, and you're just going to prove it today because we are doing Japanese whiskey, which is new to both of us and not as new to you because you've actually tasted it. But at the same time,
I opened my bottle.
Suntory product, which is the owner, Suntory owns Jim Beam and Maker's Mark. So it's appropriate that we pick the Suntory product. But at the same time, We both have rated and barrel bashed Legent on, the Jim Beam
Yeah.
Japanese whiskey bourbon collaboration. How it, the age, and it's a very, very subtle, very nice bourbon that I enjoy. So this is going to be great doing the Japanese whiskey thing, but at the same time, you did the research, and so
Yes, I did. I got it all.
I've got my my son's college graduation party today. Everything's
that's
upstairs
exciting.
going crazy, so you might hear a little bit of background noise, which is fine. But just know that it's not quiet nighttime studio setting to
Yeah.
today.
Yeah, we're at 10 o'clock in the morning getting ready to taste some fine whiskey. So
Well, and this is a great time for you, and eventually will be for me, because in the morning, usually it's quiet around here, and it's quiet around with you, and you just still get the cats coming through, unless you did something about that. But I don't think you did, because that's inevitable usually.
Well, I didn't really do anything with the cats, but they are sleeping right now. So
They're content. Yeah, but as soon as you open that whiskey up, they're coming.
Oh yeah, they're coming to check it out.
All right, let me do this. I will quickly get ready. Alan Bishop is the head distiller and a really good contributor to the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. He's become a friend of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, and actually a personal friend of mine. And he's just what he's doing there at the Spirit of French Lick is just amazing. The Spirit of French Lick, the largest pot still distillery in Indiana, is leading the way, representing both quality of the Hoosier artesian distilling process while paying tribute to its inseparable past and the many pre-Prohibition era distilleries that once dotted the hills of southern Indiana. By implementing best practices from those early times with improved modern methods, Spirit of French Lick has created a unique place in the industry, not only in terms of its story, but also in methodology, double pot still distillation, retention, and concentration of flavor and aroma. And we like to thank Alan for everything that he's done for us as far as some creating whiskey, but we've also podcasted with him at the distillery. He's been on before, through when we were early, the early times through, I think it was FaceTime. And then also he's going to be here next Thursday. So look for that podcast Friday, Thursday night, Friday morning, that it will be there. So he will be connecting through this awesome format that we've started to set up on Zoom. So one of the things that really this format's been doing for us is getting our content onto YouTube. And we are also working on YouTube, getting more subscribers. So if you're listening, please subscribe on YouTube and leave a comment. But also know that we are running our Super Nash Shares contest up until you can enter this contest by going to YouTube, subscribing, and then on social media somewhere, either in a comment section or do a post, pound SBB subscribed. Yeah, that's that
Hashtag
SBB subscribe.
Yeah.
And what's really
you got to appeal to the younger generation too. Hashtag.
It shows how old I am. It's like everybody's like, you can't be that old. I say hashtag. That'll just tell you what that means. Yes. I know. I say pound, right?
Right.
Yeah,
you say pound. Yeah.
It's hashtag. I get it.
On the episode with the Super Nash Shares, you and him kept saying pound, and I'm thinking to myself, what's pound anymore?
Yes.
It's hashtag SBB subscribed.
These old fuckers. What the fuck is wrong with them? We probably start, especially when you start putting more bourbon in us, and that night was crazy.
That night sounded like it was fun. I wish I would have been there to join in on that one. I almost was there, but just wasn't working out.
So, we're the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. We basically podcast 1 to 2 times a week. You can find us on the internet, www.scotchybourbonboys.com. We're on all the major podcast formats, Spotify, Apple, Alexis will do it, iHeartRadio. Check us out on whatever is your favorite format for podcasts, but then also we're on YouTube. And so that's where you can watch us live, or not live, but watch us, and see us podcasting. And then also we're on Instagram. You've been trying to push that through, correct?
Yeah, that is correct. And I've like it's even with everything, I've been kind of slacking on my Instagram content, but that's going to be coming back around. I'm going to try and hit a little bit more full force, maybe even incorporate some of their video reels, maybe taking some clips from these Zoom meetings and putting them up there, that sort of thing, and really hitting the promotion on there.
Yeah, the YouTube promotion that we just described runs till you have till September 29th to enter. And then the next Whiskey Live, we will announce the winners. Now, what you're entering for with Super Nash Shares is he has 7 bottles of whiskey that he has an overstock in his house and he's looking to get rid of. It could go to 10. So based off of, the amount of, people that enter, you have a pretty good chance of walking away with one of those bottles. Well, it was Bradshaw Bourbon. There was an Elijah Craig barrel proof. There's a Lee W. Sinclair 4-grain. He had, there's just a, I can't believe that he's giving this many bottles away. I mean, in one contest. So we're going to run that till when we get back, September 29th, when we're getting back the 20th from Kentucky Bourbon Festival, and then it'll run one more week, and then he's going to put it up. So he's going to do that through a randomizer, and he'll do that live on YouTube, and you'll be able to see who wins. So right now, there's, it's 7 to, he's going to give away 7 to 10 bottles. And right now, I think we have 15 people subscribed and done that. So that gives you an idea of how good of a chance you're going to have. Even if we go to 100, you got a 1 in 10 shot. And that's a pretty damn good shot when it comes to a contest, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, definitely. That's like 1,000 times better than the lottery odds.
Yeah, and also, but anytime Super Nash is in a lottery or he's up for it, he's always winning. So I think he's just paying people back on this contest, by the amount of bottles he's giving away. So look forward to that. Please, on YouTube, subscribe, and in this comment of this, this podcast, just say you subscribe and leave a nice comment, and then hit pound SBB subscribe.
I am going to reiterate what you had also mentioned, Tiny, from the last podcast. If you are somebody who has already subscribed to YouTube, this contest is also for you as well. So this isn't just for new members or new subscribers. If you have already previously subscribed, just go ahead to one of those social platforms, Facebook, Instagram, and hit the hashtag SBB subscribed, and you will also be entered.
Excellent. Yeah. Thank you for that. That really helps out. So time again for another, our other sponsor.
So who's coming up next?
Okay. Let's see. I'm going to put this on anyways, because this helps immensely. Watershed Distillery. I was down there 2 times in the last couple months. You've got Greg and Dimmick, Greg Lehman, and Aaron Harris, their master distiller that they just hired. A super good team of people. And what they're putting out with that bottled in bond and their 4-year finished apple brandy cask bourbon, is just fantastic. I'm very happy with where this distillery is going. So, and then they were kind enough to come on and be a part of the Scotchy Bourbon Boys and support us. So the watershed story, a watershed moment might be pivotal. There, I did it again, pivotal. But it might also be quiet and fleeting. It could be a momentous occasion, a cause for celebration, an enormous triumph, or a small daily victory. A watershed moment could be a rekindling of an observance or gathering. Any opportunity to relish with friends and family. It's whatever you choose to. Cheers to who you're gathered around and whatever's worth celebrating. We founded Watershed Distillery on the principles of community in 2010. We wanted to live in, work in, and contribute to the community in which we grew up. We aimed to create spirits that stood apart in quality and character. Along the way, we set out to form a community of our own, one that could gather together to savor, celebrate, and enjoy good spirits and company. We've grown from a tiny little still and 2 guys in jumpsuits to a dedicated team of over 40 people and 2 much larger stills. If you're ever in the area, stop by so we can introduce you to our team and pour you some of our award-winning gin, bourbon. Creating it was our watershed moment, but we want to hear about yours. So thank you guys down there for supporting the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. If you can get to, if you're able to get to the Watershed Distillery in Columbus, Ohio, they have a fantastic restaurant that is chef-inspired food that is paired with bourbon. And they basically, that restaurant is one to go to. I was there twice and had 2 of probably the top 10 most fantastic meals I've had in the last 10 years. It's just an unbelievable restaurant. So get down there, check them out. Otherwise, pick up a bottle of their bottled in bond off the shelf or their 4-year finished apple cask apple brandy barrel finished bourbon. So there you go for Watershed.
Yes, that was pretty good.
That's only the second time I've read that, so I'm gonna get better.
Yeah.
Folks, I promise.
Yeah. That sounded good. You had a very good.
What's really cool on the YouTube now, I've got 3 background musics picked, okay, to go behind my readings. So
that's cool.
When you're watching the YouTube video, when I'm reading the last 2, I've been able to put behind my reading with Alan, each one, and I keep the music the same. So I kind of picked it for what based off of, and it's not, it's out of, the program. So we're not doing any copyright infringing.
Gotcha.
So also just remember, we're also on Facebook and we are the Scotchy Bourbon Boys group. We do meet from time to time here in Canton, Ohio. So if you're in the area, look for those meetings. The next meeting should be mid-October. And then also the group, we try it. Lately, the content just keeps getting better and better. I do a lot of posting. Anything I find that's cool about bourbon, whiskey, distilling, any kind of news, I'm putting it into the Scotchy Bourbon Boys, but there's a lot of people now starting to jump in. So the feed's really starting to pick up, and I'm really enjoying what's happening with the membership up at around 577 members right now.
Yeah, it keeps going up every time I look at it.
Yep.
The last time I seen it was like 569. So
now, do you sometimes approve some members still?
If you don't get to it first, then yeah.
Yeah, because I noticed sometimes I'm like, how did that guy get in here? And I'm like, oh, young nose.
Yep.
All right. So we are at the point where it is 10:23, and we're drinking. Woo!
Yeah.
I'm gonna open mine up. You got any opening?
Some opening notes here.
Information? Yeah.
So this is the Suntory Whisky Toki. On the bottle, it says from the house of the Suntory Whisky, established in 1923. Japanese whiskey. This is a 43%, 86 proof. And the bottle itself leaves you fairly curious as far as what's inside this bottle, because unlike a lot of the bourbons that you get, some of the scotches that you get, there's really not a whole lot of description on the bottle. So I was prompted to do research just because I wanted to know about this before I actually opened it up and tasted it. The only description they give you on the bottle, it says a vivid blend of carefully selected Japanese whiskeys, silky with a subtly sweet and spicy finish.
So it's like a cloth almost
Yeah.
thing, which is kind of cool. I mean, that's not
Mm-hmm.
normal for regular. Oh, it's a screw cap.
And it's a screw. It's a screw cap. Yep.
Very
I
good.
thought it was a cork too, and I was
So did
trying
I.
to pull
I was
it.
like gonna pull it, and all of a sudden, oh, screw cap.
Yep.
Oh no! Oh, I just dropped the. Please God! Please God! Please God! Please God!
Well, what did you drop?
I dropped the soundboard. The sound.
Ooh.
Ooh, it's trying to.
Well, I can still hear you, and you can still hear me, and we're still recording. So
All right.
I think we're okay.
Yeah, definitely. Nothing went out. It was just hanging by the microphone cord, and if they would have pulled out, I would have had to put it back in. But we're all good.
Yep.
All right. So let's. That's a.
Yeah, it's surprising, isn't it?
So it's
What is it? What does it
10:30.
smell like?
So let's just do this.
Yeah, just straight out the bottle.
You know
Just shock
what?
the palate. What does it taste like?
Beer.
Beer.
It tastes like beer. I just totally got. Oh my God! It tastes like beer, Scotch. Like there's a smoky aspect, but it's got the
Yep.
really, really great.
And that's what I found the most surprising once I tasted it, did my research and stuff, and the original founder of the Suntory brand distillery, Shinjiro Tori, was inspired by Scottish traditional whiskey. So he was a Scottish drinker,
but
Scottish whiskey drinker.
I think when he went over to Scotland, and when he was going to do this, he trained with the distilleries in Scotland. He went over there to get the information. If I'm not mistaken,
I think you are correct. I didn't quite from their, basically the information I got was from their website. It didn't specifically say that he went to Scotland, but it did say that he was involved with the drink industry when it was medicinal back in the 1800s.
Right.
So,
no, he definitely wanted to find out. He wanted to make it in Japan, but he wanted to find that he trained with some of the best distillers of the time.
Yeah.
So that I do remember that part of the story.
Yeah, which it does make sense because it says he was inspired by Scottish traditional whiskey. So filled with that inspiration and his desire to bring it to Japan, he basically worked his way up, built up his skills as a mixer and as a blender with them, and then brought it to Japan and opened up the Yamazaki distillery just outside of Kyoto, Japan.
Okay.
So that's where the distillery is located. It's located in Kyoto, just outside the Yamazaki. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay.
So it is still currently there. And then upon opening the distillery, this I found out was a little fun fact. His very first whiskey that he made was way too close of a resemblance of a smoky Scottish whiskey, and the Japanese public didn't like it. They didn't want anything to do with it. so his first
screw off.
Yeah, they was like, this peaty crap is shit.
But I like not what you think, but what I think. Yes.
Right. Yeah. Right.
Like me.
It's more of a tiny reaction. Yeah.
So
anyway. So obviously he had to come up with something else. And then in true entrepreneurial fashion, he came up with what was known as the Kokubin whiskey, which was, I don't know if that's still available. Maybe you can find it somewhere in like a collector's. But the Kokubin was the original whiskey before it got incorporated with technology in the way it is today. So, but that was basically the backbone, the heart, the fuel of the drive of the Japanese Suntory brand. So with that, I'll have a little bit more info, but we can at least open it up and pour it. And
do you have the name?
Do some notes
at Suntory?
What's that?
Do you have the master distiller now? Do you have his name?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
That I wanted to talk about him. So
yeah, that
guy.
Yeah, his name is. Let me find it here. Yeah, Kizo Saji.
Okay. Yeah.
Kizo Saji. Yeah.
Awesome.
Saji. Yeah.
All right. What do you get?
Eizo Saji.
So it's definitely a really different whiskey.
Yeah, it's not bourbon.
And the what would you say? The nose to me, having the taste was to me was enjoyable. I haven't actually tasted it from the tasting standpoint, but from the bottle drink I did. Yes, we are both tasting out of our Scotchy Bourbon Boys Glencairns. Martin Duffy is the North American Glencairn Crystal Glass representative.
Try that again.
Yes, for the United States, and he is also a Scotchy Bourbon Boy, and we love to give him credit because these happen. You can purchase these at www.scotchybourbonboys.com, or if you go there and you click in the top right-hand corner, the Patreon link, we are on Patreon, and you can support us through Patreon anywhere between the posting chip, Glencairns, T-shirts, a whole package with everything, up to getting a signed painting print of my Booker's Jim Beam painting that I did. It's all available there on Patreon. We appreciate your support, so please go to Patreon and support us. But thank you, Martin Duffy. I just ordered a bunch of these. Went through, and we're for some select people, I'm going to be offering the new crystal glass Glencairn. We had a couple of those done, but those are a lot more expensive than what these are. And these lately I've been selling T-shirts and also the glasses, and T-shirt glasses together. So it's starting to people are appreciating it. The Leland Wright was in Kentucky this past week, and he was representing the Scotchy Bourbon Boys with the Scotchy Bourbon Boys t-shirt, and man, I gotta say, he was looking sharp. Thanks a lot, Leland, for promoting the Scotchy Bourbon Boys. So, what do you get on the nose? Now, see, the nose is, as Xavier would say, is not representative of the taste, in my opinion. Because what I tasted, I really liked, and I'm not liking this nose. This nose has a tangy, spoiled kind of, there's just a little bit of something like that. If I drink this whiskey, I'm not smelling it. I don't like the smell.
You're just going straight for the mouth.
Yeah, I'll just
bypass the nose.
Bottle because
it's like Limburger cheese. You don't smell it, you just eat it.
Yeah, obviously this is more of a yeasty, and it's based off the grains, and I'm sure the grains were probably something was blown across the barley to add that little bit of smokiness, like with Scotch, or how it was. Is it pot stilled and thank you. Okay, go upstairs. Thank you. No. I'm about to be interrupted by my... Okay, that's fine. Go ahead. The nose, there's just a little...
Well, I was just going to say, because you...
She made me...
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Hey, you need one for a graduation party. That's what you're having, right?
It's the wooden hamburger that looks delicious. So let's get back to the nose.
Anyway, so the nose is definitely different. And as far as the specifics that you were saying, pot still, that sort of thing, like it doesn't disclose all that. So the Suntory, the Japanese distillery, for whatever reason, isn't as open and abroad like the U.S. bourbon distilleries, where they'll pretty much tell you whatever you want to hear. They give you some general things, but there's no mash bill. I know this particular whiskey I'll get into a little later is a blend. So it is a blended whiskey, similar to Scotch whiskey. So this is actually a tribute to all three distilleries. They ended up opening two more other than the Yamazaki. So they have the Cheetah, and they also have the Hazuku. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the Hazuku I saw.
Yeah, Hazuku. Yeah.
But that's like $139 a bottle.
Yeah.
That one I wasn't going to start on. I had an opportunity to buy it. It's
Yeah.
you could have got it this morning, but it's just $139 on a bottle of a whiskey that you've not even tasted the class yet. And
Yeah.
it's kind of fun getting into this class. I like what's been going on a little bit.
It's definitely interesting, and obviously for me, it's very interesting because this is very Scottish, very Scotch-like, but it's a little bit different.
What's interesting, if I use my dominant nose, I get a lot more malt, and I get a little bit of sweet, a little bit of honey, and maybe a little cherry. But when I use my not dominant nose, that's where I get the smokiness. So it's like between two nostrils, I'm getting two different nosings, which are a little bit complex and interesting. But when I use both, maybe a little bit of pear with like a brewer's yeast.
It's definitely malty. So with my bottle, since I've already had it open for about a week, maybe well, there's right around a week because I got it on Monday.
Yeah, almost.
So yeah, almost a week. But when I originally opened it, I used my whiskey journal and actually took down my tasting notes from when I first opened the bottle, because from what I'm getting now and from what I'm getting then it's a little bit different just because it had some time to sit. But I would agree with you on the nose. It was definitely malty. I still get that malty aroma. But I had hints of peppermint and very subtle notes of a oaky vanilla, which could be the sweet and the spicy mix that you're getting. It's definitely something that I got. A lot of herbal notes. According to the Suntory website, their nose that they get on it is basil, green apples, and honey.
How long is this aged? Do you know?
It does not say.
And I don't know Japanese whiskey enough to know what their rules are. So,
yeah, I don't know either. That'd be something else that I can venture into. So,
proof. This is what was the proof on this? You got that?
86. That one's on the bottle.
86 proof. All right, $39.99, $32.99. I think it was. Yeah. All right. Yeah, I got my notes here.
Yeah, it was the same here in South Carolina. It was 31.99.
It's almost a straw color, wouldn't you say? It's between straw and honey, right in between.
It's definitely, I put it as a pale golden because it's not quite, because it's so clear.
Smoky at about a 3. The cereal's at like a 5. It's definitely a cereal one. Maybe a little winey. You know what I mean? Maybe it's a winey kind of thing. I'll put that like at a middle.
I definitely get that too. But this is a pretty nice blend.
Yeah, I can see you liking this because of the now if you're starting into Scotch and you want to start off now,
this would be the way to go. Yeah,
look at the size of that. Oh, that's not a leg, that's a drip down the outside of my glass.
The body on this is very thin. It's not oily and it's also not creamy at all. It's almost like water.
Now that time I got a ton of vanilla and honey on the front palate now, not drinking it out of and then I get on that back palate, I get the yeasty kind of beer taste. And then on the finish, it's hitting all. So for me, the nose is not matching anything to the taste. The taste is so much more. This is a very drinkable bourbon. Like I could
it's not bourbon.
I could. Yes, thank you. Drinkable Japanese whiskey. It's like, you got to get me out of the wheelhouse, right?
And
that's what I need to. It's like there's nobody to correct me when I'm sitting there by myself. And it's fun podcasting, relaxing right now because I am relaxing, talking to you and everything.
Oh yeah, I agree. This was our fundamentals basically. This is how we started.
You could hear that background noise. I got like a a 5-year-old band going on. She's singing back there, and so just hang in there, people. It's Saturday morning.
It's a party at Tiny's house.
I think
you're invited.
You might, when this actually hits, you might not even be able to hear it, because there's sometimes I can hear stuff on this microphone and it does not show up. So let's hope that's the case here. But at the same time, all right. So once again, the nose. I hit that nose, and it's nothing to the taste.
Yeah, the taste and the nose for me definitely are different. The taste is, like you said, it almost comes in 3 parts. So you have the initial, you have the mid palate, and then you finish. Obviously, that's part of everything as far as tasting, but they're all different. So it's not like it kind of like some of it will carry over through it all. Like you'll have a vanilla that carries over through it all. For me, the taste is definitely a spicy, malty up front. Definitely the cereal. Mid palate is more sweet. I get a lot of vanilla. I get a little bit of the herbal, like the peppermint or the something along those lines. Even like a marjoram is what I had originally put down.
There you go.
For the taste.
You're pulling stuff out. Good job.
Yeah.
For me, it's very sweet front palate. Okay. And there's a little bit of spice, but that's really back palate, just a little bit. But that front palate is just sweet. The mid palate kind of mellows out. I'm going to try and get the smoke. The finish is pear, and it's been going on now for about 45 seconds, and I'm still getting the pear finish, which is really, really unique, you know?
Yeah, it's definitely it's a subtle, it's a little sweet, but yeah, definitely a pear. Maybe even a green apple flavor on there also.
And there's some Scotch smokiness, but this smokiness does not, if you're going to go by smokiness, this is a Johnny Walker.
Yeah.
Smoke. It reminds me in some ways of Johnny Walker, but then it goes, this is way sweeter on front palate. It still wants to say it's whiskey. There is probably, there's a hug, but it's probably like a 10% hug. It's not a real bad hug. It stays top throat down a little bit, but there's still a little bit of heat there. I think the hug's more in my throat than it is in my chest, but there's some there. So there's a little bit of a hug, you know? So that's not.
It's almost like an awkward hug. You kind of want to hug, but you don't. So you just kind of tap and then let go.
It's like
like a bro hug.
Two people, they're not sure, but they're good friends online, and they go to hug, but it's like the bro hug. But yeah, exactly. I'll give
exactly.
We don't know what to do with this fucking hug right now, but it's
right.
Oh, it's gonna try and do it again. I just stay up there, soundboard. So anyways, so are you ready to barrel bash this?
Yes, I am ready to barrel bash.
So I'm going to put you on the spot. What is our barrel bash rating system, Young Nose?
Oh, I completely forgot.
About it, but I'm still putting you on the spot.
I'm just kidding. Yeah, I know what it is. So our barrel bashing system, folks, is a total score out of 16 barrel bashes. We rate 4 categories, which would be the nose, the taste, the body, and the finish, with 4 bashes each for a total of 16. However, Tiny and I and all the other Scotchy Bourbon Boys, we are entitled to 1 extra point in 1 category, which is the Bud Up, which could give a grand total of a 17 out of 16.
Right.
So here we go.
All right. So most of the time, I'm thinking the barrel, I've got a barrel down here and a bung hammer in my hand.
Bunghole?
And I will bash the shit out of this barrel. Listen. Did you hear that?
Oh, yeah.
It even rang on the microphone. But anyways, I'll go first on the nose. I'm going to penalize the nose for not being anything like the taste, like Xavier does. So normally I would give this nose, I don't like the nose. There's nothing I like about it. So I'm going to give this nose a 1.
The only thing I would say for you to try, we don't have to do this now because I don't have any set aside and I don't know if you do or not. But if you add just a little bit of water to this, it really opens up the smoky flavors and really brings forth those herbal notes. It really it works well on this.
So yeah, I'm not saying that I can't get stuff out of it, but it's for all the whiskeys I've nosed and I've tasted, this nose is not an appealing nose to me. It's as if I'm sniffing something off. That's why I give it a 1. It's not a 0 because there are some pleasantries that you just brought out. I can pull some stuff out, and it's a little bit complex, but at the same time, I'm gonna basically go with a 1. How about you?
Yeah, I mean, my rating isn't going to be too far off. I give the nose a 2 on this because it is subtle. It does have some sweetness. It is a malty cereal kind of a smell. I don't penalize it too much between the nose and taste like Xavier does, but I do give it a 2. It's good, but it's not complex. It's not one of my favorite smells.
There you go. All right. And I would have given it a 2, and I did penalize it because the taste is completely not anything like the nose. I mean, I don't expect a nose to taste, but I don't expect a nose to be kind of off and then have a delicious tasting bourbon. It's like you go from like 10 to 90 on like it's a complete 360-degree turnaround, So
No, yeah, I agree. Do you want to go next on the taste?
You go first on the taste. I'll take you
Okay.
first on the taste.
Okay, cool. The taste for me on this one it's fairly delicious. It's very complex, and like I was saying, it comes in 3 parts. So you have your spicy, malty in the beginning, and then in the mid palate, it does go a little bit sweet and a little herbal, and then that herbal does kind of kick over into the finish, and it goes a little oaky and sweet and herbal. So, but the finish is separate. I do know that. So I'm going to rate this off of the initial and then the mid palate. So the spiciness of the Scotch is already given it at least a 2 because I just love Scotch. The sweetness of the grains that are in this with the vanilla flavor definitely kicks it up a little bit. So I'll give the taste on this one a 3.
I agree completely that this is a 3. It doesn't get into it almost goes, in my opinion, to, if I could include the finish, I would say it would be a 4, but I can't because the finish is different. So I go with a 3. I did that right. Okay, I'd go with you. I agree with you. A 3.
Yeah.
Hit that barrel.
When you hit it, the noise was so loud it actually cut out on my end. Like I seen you going like this.
Yeah, I'm hammering the shit out of it this morning. I got a lot of stuff to do. I've got some energy.
Well, that's good.
After a day of working out, and you got to push. This is right there. I'm right there. This is fucking breakfast.
Yeah, this is breakfast. This is delicious. Anyway, okay, so on to the body then is next.
Okay, the body. I think the body. I'm gonna do it one more time. There is, for how thin this bourbon feels in your mouth, the body hits the tongue, the top of the roof. It's a 3 for me. This body is a 3.
Oh, I'm really surprised.
I like the body of this. I like the taste of this. So we're looking at okay.
The body on this definitely has a taste profile. It is thin. It's like I said, it's almost watery, but it's crisp. It's refreshing. It's enjoyable to drink. Like you said, it's definitely good.
It fills your whole mouth, not completely like a 4 body.
Right.
You get that whole thing.
And it's not a thick, creamy like an ice cream or a vanilla pudding or something, but
right.
but it's definitely not oily, and it's not. I guess silky would be a good way to describe it.
Yeah.
Like they had on the bottle, silky is good. So I give this a 3 also on the body. This is good.
Wow. This
I heard the barrel bash on that one.
what? You heard it. I didn't hit it hard enough to.
I heard it that time. Yeah, you didn't hit it hard enough, right?
All right. So we get to the finish. And I think you get to go first on this finish. This is one of the few times in the rating system that you are ahead of me. You're 1 point ahead. So what are you going to give that?
I know. So the finish on this one is probably my favorite part of this whiskey. It's not long in the heat, and it's not long in the mouthfeel. It kind of fades off a little bit. But where it does kind of carry over is that nice subtle flavor. You get some vanilla in there, a little oak, a little herbal, a little bit of a peppermint, maybe even a little bit more of that marjoram. Something a little bit spicy, but not overpowering, which is really nice. It's enjoyable. It's pleasant to hold on your tongue, on your mouth, and in your throat. This is a very good finish. I probably wouldn't put it at the best finish, but I give this a 3.
So
for a total of
rate
11 out of 16.
Right. You give it 11 out of 16. And
Yep.
right now, wait,
Right.
3, 6, 7. Okay. All right. So when it comes to the finish, I'm really digging this finish. It's long to medium to long, but the pear taste shows up about 20 seconds after the finish starts, and there's a little bit of smoke and there's a little bit of stuff, and I'm like, whatever, but I still have the pear taste in my mouth, and that's been at least 3 minutes listening or whatever, and it's still there. I mean, I could do a Fred Minnick where I just stop talking until it goes away, but that we wouldn't want to do that. That just takes up airspace.
What's the point of doing that?
I'm leaning to tying you, but I think it's one of the better finishes on a non. I mean, it's what makes it a 3 to me is it's so subtle. It's long. It's still there, but it's it's there, but it was like it's not like it's like you just bit into a pear and you're just still chewing it. It's just back there. So I'm going to give it a 3 also for a 10 out of 11. I mean 10 out of 16. So what we just gave this Scotchy Bourbon Boys is a 10.5 out of 16. And for tasting Japanese whiskey for the first time, I think that, and for the price to pull a 10.5 out of 16, I think this is definitely would suggest if you're out there to pick up a bottle and try it. If you've not tried Japanese whiskey, it's a great entry because it's not too much. There you go. So that brings us to our last sponsor, the Watershed Distillery. They might be last this time, but they're not least.
No, definitely not.
I said Watershed. I meant Log
Still.
We've got Wally Dant, who we podcasted with and met. We've got Lynn Dant. She's just wonderful. They've got the distillery up and running. They opened May 18th. And then there's Charlie Dant. He showed me around the campus and all the things that are going on. They've opened their amphitheater. I think this weekend, Cheap Trick's going to be at their amphitheater. And I wish I was going down this weekend, but I'm not. I'm going down in 2 weekends, and I'm going to be at the distillery. I'm going to 2 p.m. tour tasting, and I'm going to be able to bring the Monk's Road out of there so that I can taste it. Now, when we were there, we tasted it. And let's see, they couldn't have gone too far. Let me
Yeah, that Monk's Road was quite delicious. I remember being there and tasting it with y'all.
Yeah, well, you were there. You better.
I know.
Awesome. I got to get that. I'm going to get that up on YouTube. That's the one I'm editing right now to get up on YouTube. But they have a barrel finished gin, Monks Road. They've got a dry gin, Monks Road, and then they've got Monks Road 100 proof 5th District Series bourbon. The first release in our 5th District Series pays homage to Cold Spring Distillery, a historic distillery in southern Nelson County, Kentucky that was located just a stone's throw from the site of our new distillery today. This 6-year-old single barrel bourbon masterfully blends notes of corn, rye, and malted barley for a product that revives the spirit of yesterday. That bourbon was pretty damn good. And then they also are in the process of releasing Rattle and Snap, which is a Tennessee whiskey, which I'll be bringing up too, which I look forward to.
Yeah.
They all are at Dance Crossing, approximately an hour's drive from both Louisville and Lexington. Dance Crossing is a picturesque 300-plus acre campus with a slew of amenities and activities for the whole family. It will be a one-of-a-kind destination for unforgettable weddings, memorable corporate events, day trips, and weekend getaways, and will be anchored by the Log Still Distillery. The amenities at the campus will include a network of wooded walking trails, a fully functional private train depot connected to the Kentucky Railroad Museum, which is freaking awesome, an outdoor amphitheater, which is now open, farm-to-table restaurant, which they're getting ready, a 12-acre lake for fishing. I stayed at the bed and breakfast right on that lake, and they filled that lake with their spring. And then a unique lodging options, including the recently opened bed and breakfast that I stayed at, the Homestead and Popular Cottage, which they were building at the time, but I believe is open. These features, along with those of Log Still Distillery, will create an immersive experience that's rooted in the community and culture in and around Gethsemane, Kentucky. For more information, visit dantcrossing.com. Now, I just said Gethsemane, and I'm proud of myself because that's been a rough one to learn. But
yeah, that's a hard one to say. Gethsemane.
I said it at least 5,000 times to get where I can actually read it and say it and be proud of it.
Gethsemane.
So that wraps us up. You got anything to add? I mean, you're going to be doing the Instagram, and welcome back to the podcast.
Yes. Again, yes. Glad to be here. If anybody out there listening was interested in Japanese whiskey, the Suntory brand does have a few selections out there that are available. And so I'll just read them off here. So they have what we tasted tonight, which was the Suntory Whisky Toki. It was released in 2016. They have the Chita Single Grain, which is 2015 released. They have a Hakushu 12-year, a Hibiki 17-year, which I heard is probably the utmost best whiskey that they've produced. I've heard a lot of really great things from them, from other podcasts, other sources. So that would definitely be something to check out. I actually saw it down at the local liquor store when I picked this one up, but it was priced at $129.99. So I was not kicking it off as far as my first bottle, but knowing that, I probably will go and try it since it's there and it's fairly cheap considering the you said the Hakushu was 139 there in Ohio. So
yeah, I'm not doing that.
Yeah.
I have to go to Japan and taste it first.
Yeah, right. And then their staple, which was the Kakubin, is now renamed the Yamazaki. So the Yamazaki is the original Japanese whiskey that was produced. And so they have a 12-year that was just released in 1984.
The master distiller, which you talked about earlier, yeah. I just want to go over what he does. What was his name?
Kaizo Saji.
Okay.
Saji.
So when we were down in Kentucky visiting with Fred and Freddie No, they talked about when they went to Japan and visited the Suntory distillery with him, and what they did to make Legend and how he tastes. Every single day, he basically tastes exactly the same. He has the same breakfast, wakes up, does the same routine, same breakfast, same lunch, and he tastes that same routine, so his palate is always the same. And then when he's done, he'll eat different dinners and stuff, but he's very dedicated to what he's doing. Plus, they were saying when the Japanese are tasting whiskeys, they spit a lot. They don't drink it all. And they were amazed that Fred was drinking along the way. And then when we did the barrel pick with Freddie No, he talked with him because he does the blending. And so the Japanese, the whiskeys that we're tasting are blends by him. He's making sure the blends are, doing everything that they need to do. So Freddie talked in depth with him to make his Little Book 5, and work towards this blending aspect that he's doing. And, when you're blending, one of the things that I learned is that you can take two barrels that have two different tastes, and when you mix the two together, you get new tastes out of them. And that to me is like crazy, because you'll get a lot of butterscotch, but the two barrels you mix together had no butterscotch. This is the kind of stuff that blenders are dealing with, and it's a challenge, but I think it's also really cool aspect.
And fun. That sounds like it would be fun.
It sounds like it's a playground.
Right.
That's what it sounds like. So shout out to Master Distiller at Suntory. You say his name one more time, because it's just not, you don't want me trying to say that.
Kaizo Saji.
So they call him Saji, I believe.
Saji, yeah.
Saji. So that's, I think, you got anything else for us?
No, other than just the closing.
Well, close us out, because I've been waiting for someone to close me out for a while.
So again, if you enjoyed what you heard, first and foremost, please subscribe to the Scotchy Bourbon Boys podcast. We are also on YouTube, and don't forget, we have our Super Nash Shares promotion going on, where you have a chance to get a full bottle of some delicious whiskey, bourbon, whatever that lineup is, will be amazing, and you don't want to miss out on that. So simply subscribe to YouTube, and then post on Facebook or Instagram the hashtag SBB subscribed. And also remember, if you are previously subscribed, this counts for you also. If you are watching on YouTube, go ahead and hit that thumbs up button also, and check out our website, www.scotchybourbonboy.com, where you can have access to all of our social media platforms, as well as our swag store, where you can get yourself a t-shirt that Leland Wright has been rocking, or Glencairn glass, which is completely awesome to drink out of. It's so cool. It's probably the best glass that I've ever had to drink whiskey out of. So it really has. It is the best glass. Like, I've tried it in other things, and you get a lot better results as far as what you're tasting, what you're smelling.
Well, just so you know, straight out of the bottle, just like I did again, straight out of the bottle, it tastes like beer to me. So I
never did that.
Try
so
it.
Let me
try it. It's not like tasting. Try it. Just go right up. There you go. Bam. Don't you get that beer taste? It tastes like
a little bit, yeah.
Yeah, you got that fermented. So, like, if people are drinking beer around you, just pull out the Suntory and start drinking out of the fucking bottle, and you're right there with them.
Yeah, maybe I'm ahead of them.
Yeah.
Especially if I start getting down to the end of the bottle.
Yeah, you'll be way ahead of them if you're drinking when you drink out of the bottle. But you know what I mean? What's nice about this this Japanese whiskey is I think you can chug. There's a chuggability to it.
There is some chuggability to that. I'll give you that. It
doesn't stop you after that first swallow. There's no huge amounts of spice. You can just go. And I can tell you, 86 or 84. Did I get that right? What's the proof?
86. Yeah.
86 proof. Chugging. It's almost 11. It is 11 o'clock, and it's time to go. But at 11 o'clock in the morning, I'm feeling pretty good. It didn't disappoint. It's not so good start to our day. I think I'm going to have to go upstairs and have a breath mint.
Yes.
So let Mr. Morrison
take us out.
Remember, everybody, good whiskey equals good friends and good times. And make sure you go out there, take chances, and live dangerously. Fucking dangerously. If we don't find the next whiskey bar, I'll tell you we must die. I'll tell you we must die. I'll tell you we must die. Stop. All right.
That was